news, Lester?
Yeah, just trying to figure out why.
It's coming through a bit better now.
Say that make me feel better.
Yeah. Just don't forget to speak into the mic, eh?
It's fine.
Yeah, the one that keeps on cutting out. But those are the ones you used last week, right?
Yeah.
That worked.
But better.
Yeah, it just keeps on dropping out, eh? You don't have a problem when you're using these for work or whatever? No.
And I don't use them on this laptop.
Ah, I see.
Okay, that makes sense though.
Right, so shall we kick into it?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, let's rock and roll. Oh, I just had a flashback.
Yeah.
Oh, music.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Freudian slip.
Hello, boys.
Ladies and gents, what's happening?
So girls,
And
why do I always have
everyone-
to be the pedo in this?
Yeah, I was gonna say where are the girls?
All right.
Dude, come on.
Oh, this is not the way to start. What a strong start.
No, not a strong start. I was feeling quite strong this morning, but as Oleg arrived, I started pulling amps. So.
Already?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, look, the moment he saw me, he started yawning. I'm like, dude, like, is this me? I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, is this normal? Do you have this in other scenarios?
No. But like, the moment he saw me, he's like, he yawned and stretched. And I'm like, what's going on here? It's like, it's 12 o'clock, dude.
Yeah, it's like the Pavlov's dog kind of situation. I was lying on the couch before he arrived because I got my shit together and set up the stream pretty early and everything was cool. And I thought, okay, I'll go watch some YouTube on the couch, and then I was like, hey, I feel like staying on the couch.
It's game over. Boom.
Yeah. Ding. Okay, what are we going to kick off with? Formula One, Neuralink,
Apple Vision Pro.
Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
Playing the piano. I've seen that video. Excuse me. I've
Sure,
seen that
dude.
video before. Yeah.
COVID.
COVID cunt. Ooh.
Yo.
Okay, well, I tell you, let's start off with some social stuff. Lester, you went to visit your good old mates Daniel, Craic, and Shiv
Yes.
last weekend.
Yes.
How they doing?
Yeah. Great. Yes, great. I haven't slept in 3 weeks since the baby was born. But,
Hey, sorry
they're
for
still alive.
you.
Sure, dude. Sure.
Still
That
alive?
sounds
Oh, they're
hectic.
doing well.
Sounds
Uh,
hectic.
And
this-
it's a lifetime commitment, dude. When that realization kicks in, when your
I
first
try to
child
make,
arrives and you realize, like the first night you've put them to bed, you've fed them, you've bathed them, and you've got them to sleep, and you sit down on the couch or the sofa and you go, oh my God, I've got to do this for the next. There's no like, I don't feel like doing this tonight. Anyway.
So, well,
Yeah, they're still at that routine of checked all the boxes. Finally, this child is sleeping.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's going to be awake in 30 minutes.
Yes. You're going to wake
time.
up 3 times during the night
Cycle.
for sure. At
The
least.
cycle is about to begin again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
but are they
No,
like,
that's cool, man.
are
they're
they
doing
like
well.
in the zombie mode, like walking around like this?
No, it's not that bad.
Okay.
It'll
Um,
come. It'll come.
No, it's just lack of sleep. They are happy as anything. Stevie is a pretty chilled out baby.
That's good.
Yeah. And they keep waiting for it to get worse, and it's not got worse yet.
Okay. Well, at least they're
So they're
getting
like,
ready.
is this as bad as it gets? Because I can maybe get my head around this.
Yeah, not that I want to. But the first time that kid's sick and has got some tummy issues or whatever, oh my God. Changing nappies every half an hour. Having to put that
Yeah.
peg on your nose while you're changing.
Dan went back to work for the first time this week. I need to phone him and find out how it's gone.
Yeah. What's he's like driving the truck like this?
He's never had so
where's
much
that
sleep.
autopilot, dude? Like, where's the Cybertruck now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think let's
Yeah,
kick off.
he reminded me yesterday it was a year since we had our day in Franschhoek with the wine trip and the hot air balloon over Stellenbosch. Yeah, it was a cool day.
It's not going to happen for a while.
I'm not rushing back.
No,
Yeah, what's happening with this fire in Cape Town? Is it finally out?
Which
or
one?
Is it like just
Which
don't
one?
everything?
The one that was on Table Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I haven't really been
The one that you were
up to
watching when you were there all those weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was in Hout Bay, right?
Cork Bay.
Cork Bay.
Yeah. But those helicopters were quite efficient. I mean, they had that thing under control in half an hour, 45 minutes. But it wasn't, the wind wasn't pumping and it wasn't really a massive fire. But I can imagine when the wind is pumping, plus it's very hot down in Cape Town at the moment.
Dude, have you not seen?
No. Am I supposed
Yeah.
to be
There was
Googling
another
this?
fire from a car near the cable car.
Yeah. Is that the one that started the Table Mountain fire?
Oh, they're all Table Mountain fires.
Okay.
Oh, I see. That's close to Table Mountain, whereas the other one's on the other side. Okay.
18th
Yeah, no,
that's 2021.
Just look at the news, the recent one.
Yeah, Sky News. Fire breaks out on
Right.
Table Mountain. Surge in fires on Table Mountain. Campfires, surge in fires on Table Mountain. Oh,
You narrow it down.
right. Shit. Oh, well. It's good for the Proteas, on a positive note.
Not good for the Dussies.
No.
Yeah. Or any other wildlife that's there. Yeah.
Those running from the law, hiding in the mountain.
Yeah, I think those Burgies are going to be having to look for a new place to live.
Is that what you call them? Berkeys?
Yeah, that's what Cape Townians call them.
What are those?
Those
They're
are like
common. They've got a name.
they're like down and out people, that homeless people that live in various places. Here in Joburg they live along the Yixkay and
Are there homeless
the
people
parks.
staying in the Table Mountain?
yeah, they live in the bush there.
You serious?
Yeah. True story.
Man, I've never seen, but like that's actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
It's years.
No, I mean it's a sad situation that people find themselves in that
Yeah.
situation. Yeah. Yeah. So on a happier note, congratulations, Lewis Hamilton, for finally pulling the trigger to go to Ferrari.
Is that official now?
Yeah, it's official now. It's come out on the Formula One website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he moved from McLaren to Mercedes was a big thing, but at that time it was very thought through. McLaren was going with the Honda engines, and Mercedes was a lot better. Is he seeing something that we're not with Ferrari? Is Ferrari about to go top?
Well, I was watching a video this morning that was posted by Formula One.
Yeah.
And, they did like a 10-minute review on the thing. And, they said that Ferrari's been talking to Hamilton for a couple of years now, and he's kept on turning them down. And now, obviously, he's decided to change. What they were saying there was that perhaps Hamilton, not confirmed, but perhaps Hamilton is a little bit aggrieved by the fact that his sort of advice that he's giving the guys in terms of the development of the car during the season or pre-season or whatever is not being taken seriously, and maybe that's resulted in Mercedes losing their way a bit, although they did come back a bit towards the end of the season last year. But maybe he's more confident with Ferrari's development than with McLaren's. With Mercedes.
Yeah.
Sorry, not McLaren. So,
Freudian
look,
slip.
I think, Freudian slip. I think it's going to make it's quite interesting because 2026 there will be lots of changes coming. So he will have in 2025. I would imagine he would have a lot of influence in their direction that they go in. And I think next year will be interesting because you'll have Hamilton in a Ferrari. If McLaren continues with the upward trend, maybe Red Bull will have something to fight for.
I'm sure.
Or at least some people competitive to fight against, whatever. But I mean, I suppose you asked the question, what does that mean for team orders and who's got the, who takes the lead in the team? Charles Leclerc, he's been there for a couple of years. He's got an extended contract. Unwritten number one driver in Ferrari. What does this mean now that Hamilton's coming? What's the inter-team play going to be like with the drivers on the track? Because we know that in the past, Hamilton has had some argy-bargy with his teammates, Rosberg, Alonso, so on and so on and so on. So, yeah. But interesting times. I think it does mix it up. I suppose I feel sorry for Carlos Sainz.
I was just going to say.
I think I think he did pretty well last year. I wonder what that means. Where does he go? Is it a straight swap? Does he go to Mercedes? Do people now all of a sudden, does Carlos go to Red Bull? I mean, remember, he is ex-Red Bull. So, you never know. That might, because, I mean, they've always been talking about Perez and maybe changing him out. And even though he's done fairly well. I mean, he ranked quite high last year in championship. So, good question.
So, do you think the Smurf is going to initiate a bunch of other swaps?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a straight McLaren Ferrari swap and everyone else stays the same. I think. Listen, Carlos is a good driver. He was one of the only guys that won a race last year other than Max. So, that has to count for something. I think Red Bull will be interested. That's my feeling.
When I saw the news about Hamilton moving to Ferrari, I was thinking, it's like, for some reason, most likely I'm wrong, but I think it's a retirement move.
Possibly. I mean, Hamilton is 39, so he's I suppose in the winter of his career.
Yeah.
But if you look at the likes of Alonso, you give an old hat a good car, you can challenge for the podiums. I mean, I was actually very disappointed that Alonso didn't have the car a good car for the duration of the season.
Well, to be fair, the Aston Martin was way better than we were expecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, presume he's carrying on with next year.
Yeah.
So how old is he going to be?
Who? Hamilton.
Alonso.
I mean, he's the oldest. I mean, he's 42, maybe going on 43, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, the thing is, the other thing that I found...
watching Andrew type is a treat.
Shut up.
He can't multitask. If you ask him...
I should delegate it to
old
Kippy to do the typing, eh?
Why doesn't your AI tool kick in about now?
He's 42.
As we're talking, it's Googling for me. He's 42. Alonso. He's 42.
Jesus. What was I doing when I was 42?
So he'll be 43 now. Yeah, I can't remember that far back. It's too far away.
Yes, you guys are.
Yeah, we old.
I
would say ancient.
Thanks, man.
Whoa.
We vintage.
There's no need.
Get personal.
Yes.
So early in the episode.
Just because I was 10 years old when Alonso was born.
Yes. But I suppose
I was thinking you're gonna say, like I was 10 years old when science got invented.
Yeah. I gave Edison the idea.
yeah.
I
The
just left-
final,
I
the
just
final
left it
idea,
for it.
right?
Yeah.
Not the 99 other
Yeah.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't give him credit for everything.
Yeah. So
He
just
just
going back
was-
to the announcement with Hamilton, I suppose what's I suppose also quite interesting is the timing of it, in the sense that it's just before the season starts. Normally, these kind of things would happen in their spring break or summer break or whatever. It's so. I mean, now imagine Hamilton has to drive for the team that he's leaving at the end of the year for the whole season, and Sainz has to do the same thing. So I wonder what that does to one's motivation and their approach to the season. I mean, if Sainz gets any team orders this year, what's he going to do? Is it middle finger territory, or is it, oh yeah, sure, I'll listen to you? If I was Sainz, I would go all out. Screw team orders now.
Yeah. Because if you can do that and it pays off, and you
Yeah.
become the prominent driver, then you'll have the team orders in your place. But then Hamilton will probably just ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. And then I suppose if it's not Sainz that goes to Mercedes, who is it? I mean, I've seen lots of comments, mention of Ocon and so on, and some even people put Mick Schumacher in there and said, hey, because he is the reserve driver for, or the test driver for Mercedes. I don't know.
Feeling.
I mean, what's the worst that they do? They put him in the car and say, do 100 laps. Let's see how you do. If you hit this benchmark, then we'll consider you. I would like to see Mick Schumacher come back.
Consideration, right? Yeah, he's a good driver, but does he have that edge they're looking for? He's a quality driver.
Yeah.
How often did he score points?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. But I mean, look, I suppose you can't blame the car. I mean, I was watching the last season of Drive to Survive with Becky. We were rewatching it. So it's the season before when Mick Schumacher was still at Haas. And I think the pressure did get him, because they were starting to push him, and then he would push himself, and then he would have an accident, and quite an epic accident. So definitely that is a consideration for a team, is to say, well, listen, not only is the guy potentially not going to perform as a driver in terms of points, what's he going to cost us if he's going to be crashing the car, and to such an extent? Yeah. I don't know. So, interesting times. I think it puts a nice twist on this season, and definitely next season is going to be very, very interesting. And I must admit, I'm not the biggest Lewis fan, but I'm excited to see what it's going to bring.
I think the sport needed a little shake-up. It stayed. As far as you kind of knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Teams are fairly settled.
Because I suppose we're used to having shake-ups at the bottom end, or the middle to bottom end of the field.
Yeah.
To have it at the top end
Yeah.
is quite significant.
I do kind of agree that it has a high probability of initiating chain reaction in terms of swaps.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. Bring it on. Bring it on. Right, so we're going to talk Neuralink.
Yeah.
So for some reason, I couldn't open that link that you sent, Lester.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know, but I think you could.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's something was wrong with my phone, but I
Do it from your computer.
Let's see. Was it a video or was it an article?
Article,
yeah.
Okay. Let's go to WhatsApp.
Remember what I sent?
Yeah.
Elon Musk says Neuralink implanted into a human brain chip, wireless brain chip. I always worry about the cybersecurity around these things.
So, like for example's sake, if if you get a Neuralink chip and it gets hacked, do you think people can get control of your body? And
well, I suppose it depends. You see, look here, it's not opening the link.
Yeah, that's weird.
See, it says can't be reached.
Just search for that article. So, like, actual Google search for that article. So go to WhatsApp. Elon Musk says Neuralink. Yeah. Just copy and paste the keywords.
The article makes mention brain-computer interface community. It's like, there's a community. That means this is widespread, in use. It's not a new thing that they're making out, that there's been breakthroughs by Musk's organization. Although the previous paragraph said he produced medical devices for the first test in humans. It's a significant milestone. So, yeah.
Spike in activity by neurons with the National Institute of Health describes the cells that use electrical and chemical signals. So this patient that they've implanted this in, what problem are they trying to solve? Did they say? Enables control of your phone and computer.
In Switzerland, it has successfully enabled a paralyzed man to walk just by thinking.
Oh.
I mean, I would imagine he still needs the muscle control. If he's been paralyzed, he's not been using the muscles. So there's a bit more that needs to happen here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is mind over matter. If you don't mind, I don't matter.
Excuse the pun.
But it is pretty cool in terms of like the implications it has for, you know, people that suffer from various physical disabilities. Either prevent them from moving or kind of prevent them from seeing, you know, something that impairs their other senses or kind of freedom of motion.
Yeah.
It also has like quite a cool like spin-off with you know, people that lost arms and legs in various incidents, and now you could kind of like link up your bionic arm or bionic leg with the Neuralink chip.
Yeah,
So
good point.
I think if they kind of get it right, and they basically focus on kind of improving the quality of life for people that suffer from various disabilities, and I think that's really cool direction, and the big market. But I think the kind of direction that it's going to go into inevitably, right, is the fact that it's going to become a bridge, you know, for a regular people that don't even suffer from disabilities to interface with kind of tech.
Yeah.
But the question is, like we can gauge, and I mean, taking into account that you guys have been around much longer than me. It's like far longer than me, you know.
Yes.
What timeline do you think?
Like
What timeline do you think we're looking at? Are we looking at kind of like next 10 years, next 20 years, 50 years? Like what's the deal?
Well, here's the thing. They've done the human testing now, and they're only given license to do it in May last year.
Yeah.
And that was the start of a 6-year study during which a robot has been used to surgically place 64 flexible threads thinner than a human hair onto the part of the brain that controls movement and tension. 6-year study. So this is just the first step.
Mm-hmm.
And it's already quite a significant one. I think by the time they get to do the end of the 6 years and the final thread that they've installed of the 64 threads, they would have already had breakthroughs in other ways, things that they've learned along the way. So I think in the next 5 years, we probably see a lot of effective testing of technology. How that's then applied is probably the next 5 years after that. Yeah, yes, it's all very good, perhaps for better of mankind, but you know how these things go.
Yeah.
Once the military start recognizing potential, then this could go a lot faster.
Yeah, that will basically get like insane implementation. But
I love that they're calling this thing telepathy. First product that this Neuralink company is making is called telepathy. Nice.
Yeah, I think it's interesting times, I suppose. And yeah, like I suppose we almost can't work out where it's going to go. We can think of the sort of obvious solutions, but I can only imagine, like, with this kind of technology that comes out, it's going to be, I suppose it's like when the sort of LLMs like hit the sort of main public domain.
yeah,
All of a sudden you realize people are doing things with it we never thought they would.
yeah.
We couldn't anticipate.
So you know what's like really interesting for me in terms of kind of the evolution of this type of tech coupled with the evolution of AI, right? Is the pace, right? So think about it this way. It took us a long time to go from like a single cell organism to like Harvard graduated professor, right? But for us to go from like a very basic Atari type machine to advanced AI, it's literally 30 years.
Yeah, true.
It's literally 30 years. You know, so, and the pace is not kind of a linear progression, right? We going on an exponential curve now.
Yeah.
On the exponential side of the curve. You know, for the first, I think, 10 years, it was fairly linear. Then it kind of picked up the pace with various applications of kind of basic machine learning and large data analysis. But now we kind of, we're in the new realm now. We're in the new realm. Everybody knows that we're in the new realm. I could see, like, when I mentioned going from a single cell organism to a Harvard professor, and Lester smiled and like, I remember, and it's like, I remember that.
Oh, yes. This
is where I activate.
It's getting very spicy today.
This is where I activate the telepathy in Andrew.
To mute. Mute. Yeah. So I don't know if you're talking about AI. I don't know if you've seen the promos for the new Samsung S24.
No, I haven't. Can you kind of like?
Well,
update us on
basically,
that?
they're integrating a lot of AI into the device. I'm assuming it's running a dedicated AI chip.
Mm-hmm.
But like the photo editing abilities, like the kind of stuff that you've heard of or seen maybe on the internet using some processing on the web or something like that, where you can crop out, let's say, an image of a person and you can move them in that picture landscape. And it falls in the background for you.
Yes.
So now you can do that directly on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. And then also, while you're chatting on most messaging apps, it can translate for you on the fly. So you're having a conversation with someone in a different language, you can type in English, and it will then, before you send it, automatically translate it for you into the language that you conversing in.
That is so cool, dude. That is so cool.
So, I mean, there've been inklings of that kind of technology around. You could take your phone, take a photo of some text that was in another language and would translate it for you into English. But now they're embedding this stuff into, because, like you always had to go out into another app.
Yeah.
To do a translation. All this stuff is getting integrated into, which I suppose is, what you've seen with the AI that's come out. You've got your normal ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But then that technology has been embedded into other utilities. Like you go to Canva. Canva's got its AI stuff. You go to Adobe's got AI built into their applications now. So it's not like a standalone thing. It's now getting embedded into stuff. And I suppose more and more you're asking yourself the questions like, are we ever going to be able to, or we're going to get to a stage where we can't distinguish between a real photograph and something that's been manipulated.
Aren't we on this stage already?
Well, look, I suppose, I suppose we are there. But I mean, like when I take a real life photo of something and I have the ability to manipulate that real life photo, because I mean, you can go and say, "Oh, please generate a photo for me with this and this and this, these elements in it," and it'll give you something random, and it might not be exactly what you're looking for. Now I can take a photo of a scene that I like, and without doing the good old Photoshop thing, I can just cut and paste something in there. Or take something that's in there already and manipulate it.
So, for example, say
on my phone.
Let's say, I'd say, take a picture of like or take a standard stock photo of a Buddhist monks and put yourself in the middle of them, right?
Yeah, change the Buddhist monk to be me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming they used AI when they took when they had photos of Hamilton wearing a Ferrari driving suit. I'm sure they used AI to do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could have used Photoshop, which might have taken them a bit of time. Now they can do it just
on their cell phone.
Yeah, on their cell phone. Jeez. Let's see. What other features were on the S24? So Galaxy AI is here. Meet the S24.
Has the S24 already been dropped?
No, you can pre-order it.
Okay, but it hasn't been like kind of dropped.
No, so there. I know Lisa can't see this.
That's pretty cool. It's a real-time translation from English to Spanish.
Yeah, it can summarize text for you as well on the fly. You can check there. You take a person, and I'm sure Lester can imagine what we're looking at.
Wow.
I can't imagine. But I will tell you my experiences with these apps over the years.
Yes.
One of my first trips to Japan, there's 13,000 restaurants in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And there's only about 20 that have English menus. So to try and go somewhere to eat, if you don't have somebody who's Japanese with you who can translate it, it's a challenge. So I did take with me on my trips an app, and I went into a local restaurant and I tried out the app. And I had used this app before in Europe with mixed results, and in Japan it just completely, and it's supposed to be able to translate. And basically this was you take your camera on your phone and you just hold it over text and it would just automatically translate the text on the phone.
Yeah.
It struggled. It couldn't do it. The next thing is we had another app where you could take a photo, and this is more the last 4 years. Take a photo, put it in the translator app, and that translates it quickly. I would say that was about 75% effective. It was very quick, and you had a picture of the menu on your phone. It couldn't translate all the words. Sometimes it struggled, especially if there was specials where they made up special names. It struggled with that kind of thing. But in general, a lot better. But that's great. That's all static. I would say a couple of years ago, I came across an app from a taxi driver in Madrid, and he didn't speak English, but he says, no problem. He says, he had an iPad in his taxi, and he had this app running. He was speaking to me in Spanish, and this app straight away translated that loudly in the car to English. And I responded in English, and it came out and translated to him in Spanish.
Yeah, crazy.
Instantaneously, pretty much. And it also, in case you didn't hear it right, because it's an electronic device trying to speak a language, it already had the writing. And it was about 90% effective.
That's good.
It was the odd word that it was like, whoop. But yes, from two people who don't speak each other's language, I managed to get around town and to an airport, no worries. I'll stay here, don't go away, I'll be back in 2 minutes. All these sort of little conversations. Or there's a traffic accident ahead, you should know about rerouting in case you want to know. If you weren't able to speak the same language, it'd probably freak you out.
Yeah.
So Yeah. So that sort of technology's been around. So this sounds like the next step.
Yeah. It's like getting integrated into an existing product.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's where the utility.
We're get called by people all over the world in their language. We'll never be able to trace them.
Oh, shit.
But I think it's pretty cool because it's like at least the language part of it. It's not just a translation, right? It's a translation that goes through advanced language model that's most likely pretty large, that also kind of has the context of the situation. So I think in terms of accuracy of translations from different languages, we're going to get to way over 90%.
Yeah, crazy. And then, I mean, also just like, you know, the other feature is on the Samsung S24 is the AI zoom, which is basically you can zoom in up to 100 times. So normally that might be like a digital zoom or something like that. So it gets all pixelated. So in other words, it's got a high megapixel camera and all it's doing is just effectively zooming in on the picture that it's getting. Now they're using AI to upscale the photographs. So now you can do this already. You can go to, I think on Canva they've got it. You can give it a photo and say, can you please upscale this from whatever it is to, you know, high resolution, and it does some AI stuff and sharpens all the stuff that would become blurry. But now you can do that directly on your phone, which is, so when you take the photograph, whereas before your workflow would be take the photograph, upload it, put it into another app, upscale it, download it, resend it. Okay. You can do that. It takes a bit of time, a bit of effort. Now you can do it directly on your phone. So I suppose with all these things, what it is, it's really about productivity, right? Is speeding up the process. Yeah. Anyway. So that's S24. So, I mean, they're great features. And I suppose the question is, whenever you're looking at upgrading your phone or migrating from Apple to Samsung, are the features good enough to say, yeah, definitely I need that? Or is it like, yeah?
I think it's inevitable kind of thing, because even if you don't upgrade immediately, you'll eventually upgrade. Within the 5-year timeline, you most likely will upgrade.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Lester, are you still kind of tied into the whole
Apple
ecosystem?
Yeah, but I've also made the decision not to upgrade a phone every year, every 2 years.
Yeah,
because it's just for me, I haven't seen the technological advances, but maybe the AI is
something
one of those
to look
things
at.
I go, actually, yeah. It was interesting you said upgrade from Apple to Android. But if this is available in the Android industry, Apple has to follow. Otherwise, they're going to fall away and disappear. They have to.
Well,
I'm sure they will follow.
On the Apple side, the big news this week is basically the Apple Vision Pro officially went on sale.
How much? We had this conversation last time.
You know how Apple works. They provide you with a base and a bunch of kind of optional features, right? So I think the Apple Vision Pro is over $3,200 base model, right? And then you can obviously spec it up to all the way to kind of 4,900.
Yeah, so you're looking at, in rands, you're probably looking at about 80, 90K.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go to the park for 10 days for that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap. But
is it worth it?
But would you basically consider getting one, Lester? Since you are part of that ecosystem, right?
Well, when I looked at it, when they first announced it, I thought it was pretty cool. It seemed to be the better model for that genre of device.
Mm-hmm.
They've come a long way. They listened to the feedback, and they fixed the things that people didn't like. And I liked it. Am I going to rush out and buy it just because I'm an Apple user? No, I think it doesn't matter that it's an Apple product to me. If it was on another device, another manufacturer, who cares? I think it's about if you're going to pay that much money, how are you going to get the value from it? It is pretty cool. It is good stuff.
Well, basically,
trying to get my work to buy one.
you have like different ways to kind of like use it. It's obviously meant as both the entertainment and the productivity tool. So you can use it kind of in the productivity space, and you can use it in obviously entertainment space, right? And it's kind of a portable and mobile enough for you to kind of like carry with you in a laptop bag, you know? So it's pretty much you're carrying home theater, home entertainment system, and your basically office in a laptop bag.
Yeah.
But virtual office.
I can imagine myself sitting in a coffee shop with my Apple Vision Pro on, sitting in my Teams meeting in a virtual meeting.
In the virtual meeting, yeah.
I thought it always crossed my mind that when this takes off, we'll all start looking like minions.
Yeah.
Yeah. There will be a Gru who is commanding the world. Our chairman will be Gru, and we'll all be minions.
So you know what's interesting kind of about the whole concept of Apple Vision Pro is that it provides you with the option to kind of blend your reality. So it's actually an AR headset, but it can be full on VR or it can be full on AR, you know? So it's kind
That's
of like
what people wanted, right? They didn't want to just see the technology as a gimmicky thing. They wanted it to have practical use, and some people need more than one facet of it.
So the interesting thing is it kind of allows you to fine tune, like what kind of percentage of augmented reality do you want? Like, and if you want the full-on virtual reality, you have that option with the full-on virtual reality, right? But you basically tackling both markets at once. You're tackling entirety of the AR market that feels comfortable with the augmented reality, and then can further fine-tune how much augmentation you want in kind of your space. And you tackling the VR. So I think the concept is very interesting. I think they're basically just starting. And this is basically like a Apple iPhone introduction moments of them basically throwing the tech out and people starting now to kind of develop technology around this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I suppose it needs the support of apps.
Yeah.
I see there more than 600 apps that are available for the Vision Pro.
Already?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I mean, here's the question: does it, if this is something that can be hooked up to your computer, is this like a replacement for a monitor?
Yeah.
So you can do away with the monitor completely.
Yeah.
Several monitors, because I'm sure you can have several screens up, and
you can have as much real estate as you want, because you can arrange your space how you kind of want it. So it's basically a tech that can potentially replace kind of not just the monitor, TVs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to lie in bed again and watch Netflix.
Yeah.
And feel like I'm in the cinema.
Yeah.
Because I used to do that. I mean, the quality wasn't that great. I used to do that with my Samsung Oculus VR thing. Is that I had the Netflix app on there, and then I could watch a movie with my headset on, lying in bed. And in the beginning, you can obviously, because remember, it's magnifying your device's screen, so your Samsung Galaxy phone that's plugged in there. And in the beginning, it's a bit grainy and dull, but after a while, you forget about that. But I see now with this, it's got 4K per eye, This is the Apple Vision
Eye.
Pro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to make an amazing experience when it comes to, being, putting the headset on and looking at high definition content.
And apparently the eye tracking that's built in to the handset is on the next level. Like the eye tracking that it does, it's basically pinpoint accurate. Also,
Yeah.
you don't have any gimmicky kind of joysticks or controllers. Everything is done with your hands. You don't need any other tools. So I think it's kind of like, honestly think it's kind of an iPhone moment in terms of, and this thing seamlessly interacts with both your phone and your laptop if you have
Apple.
yeah, if you have Apple.
Apple
Yeah.
ecosystem, yeah.
So that
Yeah.
ecosystem is just basically just became bigger.
So the question
I
is, who's going to pull the trigger on the non-Apple version of this kind of technology? I know
think
there's,
Give it
Samsung.
6 months.
Samsung, for
Yeah.
sure, dude.
Yeah.
but I mean, I haven't heard anything from anyone. Oculus, who the big players in
This
this
is not.
field?
This is not something that's easy to replicate, right? It's
No.
not like a laptop where which people can go a hard drive and all that. We just copy each component. This has got a lot of good tech, it's really patented to hell and gone.
So
It's not. I mean, think about it. It's got 256 gig of storage in it.
yeah, I think you can get a
I mean,
512
you've
as
got to
well.
fit that into this contraption and all that ocular. And how do they do that? I mean, you don't need 256 gig. I don't know. I haven't used it. So that's just local storage. You're probably streaming constantly anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
we need to get a demo.
So I mean, if you had the money,
Always
you
need to go down to your local Apple shop and have a look.
yeah.
Oh,
What?
I can't even go to the local Apple shop. I don't even know where our local Apple shop is. There must be one in London.
But
I
disappointed.
banned myself from those places.
I'm
They're
disappointed.
dangerous.
I'm disappointed that Leicester for like
You guys used to go out and test stuff on a Saturday morning.
that's
yeah, we
bikes.
need to get back to that.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to forget the bikes, go and test this thing, and then buy an iPhone on the way out.
So what would your so if you could buy this, what would your main use be? Well, like what aspect of this excites you the most? Is it
I think I'm along similar lines to you, in that my home entertainment could easily be spiced up. That's the wrong word. Home entertainment could really keep it alive because I have a TV in one room and an iPad in another. It's just like, I think this would be cool. I can just wander around. I can watch something and cook while I'm eating, while I'm cooking, while I'm whatever, while I'm doing what. So I'd just like to experiment how far we can take. What is the quality like? This is the new best way of doing this. So yeah, what's it like? But immediately, and I also go, I'm working from home. So how does this help me work better from home? So I'm not sitting in a desk all day.
yeah.
I would probably do things on both fronts just to see what I can do better. And then I would take it from there and go, well, what else? Let's try and do this and that. But I think I need to get a demo.
If anyone's willing to give us a
play
demo
around
unit.
with it. I'm happy to give a review.
Yeah.
It just so
Yeah.
happens my work cell phone is also an Apple. So I mean, it's easily portable.
Yeah. So I suppose in terms of gaming and all that kind of stuff, I mean, what sort of processing power does this have? So how far can you push
Yeah.
the gaming? Because I suppose I'm not, even though I've got a PlayStation, I mean, I used to play a lot of games back in the day, but I actually don't play games that much anymore.
Mhm.
I mean, would this change that for me? Would this, get me back
Yeah.
into playing games? Number one.
Well, I think as Oleg will no doubt point out, our age concerned. For me, I started getting bad at games, maybe because my eyesight was deteriorating. But my reaction time was slow, and I was getting punked by all sorts of online gamers. And then I was like, I have. But but it's not just about first-person shooter kind of games, which I'm sure would just bring it to another level. But there's other sort of visual world stuff. I mean, what about forget the gaming? What about the metaverse? Wandering around the metaverse.
Geez, the metaverse has gone quiet for a while.
It has, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was pipped by AI.
Well, who's to say the metaverse won't just become better? It's very blocky and very first version.
Yeah.
But it had potential. So maybe this is what we need to play in the metaverse better.
True. I agree.
But we don't know. We need that demo.
Yeah, we had that demo unit.
So we can explore and have a proper opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like for me, yeah, sorry, the entertainment would be great for me. Maybe gaming. Another experience which I really enjoyed when I had the VR headset with Samsung, and I mean, there wasn't a lot of content, but just something as simple as Street View in VR. You could go to a place and stand there in the middle of the road and look up and down the road at wherever in the world, you know, that the Google had captured content.
Was cool. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Tourists, like you want to go see the pyramids or something like that, or go to some place that you wouldn't normally go to, you know, go stand underneath the Eiffel Tower. I don't know. Yeah. And then also productivity, you know, working, joining meetings, maybe something like this that we're doing, like a podcast done in VR in the metaverse or whatever.
We're going to take it on the road.
Yeah. So we need 3 demo units, eh?
I think,
absolutely.
You know, when I think about Apple, I know you guys are thinking about kind of like the whole gaming aspect, but I think like Apple's not heavy into gaming, because when you think about gaming, you like Apple is the last brand you kind of think about, right?
Yeah.
You like when you think about gaming, you think number one, PlayStation, Xbox, PC,
Yeah.
top of lines, right? So when I'm thinking Apple, I'm thinking about productivity, creativity, and just overall life entertainment type of system.
Yeah.
You know, so but I'm thinking about productivity, creativity, and just making computing fun.
Yeah.
For basically normal people to use, for non-tech savvy people to use.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's where Apple kind of exceeds in terms of
technology made simple.
it basically creates it. We don't like it because we're technical people, right? But it really makes sense for a lot of people that don't want to be technical people and just want to get things done, you know?
Yeah. So, and what do you think of it as first-person camera, POV, right? You put the headset on, it's got a 3D camera, so in other words, you can actually get 3D content. And, you know, like, who's going to be the first person that films a movie short using an Apple Vision Pro on their head, and they're the cameraman looking wherever they go? What's
honest answer? You
know what?
That's why I need a unit.
You know what I'm thinking? Like the really cool application of this technology, right? Is like, for example's sake, you know, like how we generally have meetings through Microsoft Teams, and basically Teams like ecosystem, whether it's Teams or Zoom or any other platform, it's irrelevant. But like, can you imagine if you're having a kind of like a meeting with like a FaceTime meeting, right? Which is like a Apple equivalent of Teams, right? And then you basically allow the other user to see what you're seeing, right? And you're in a factory environment kind of working with the model. So the other person is kind of almost in your body, can see what you're doing with like different parts or different equipment that you have on the table, right? And basically can guide you. It's like, you need to pick up this tool. You need to basically, like, I think applications from that perspective are really, truly amazing. Or for example's sake, you have somebody going kind of to the weather station or to like some sort of research station somewhere, and person is like doing his master's or student, right? And he needs a professor to like actually guide him to get something done. And professor taps into his Apple Vision Pro. He's almost in this guy's body, right? But he can see his hands, he can see everything in front of him, and he can basically tell him, no, you basically take this thing, basically set it up like this. I think these applications are really cool.
Yeah, bomb diffusing bombs is something that comes to mind.
We used it. So we used
The HoloLens.
the HoloLens when we commissioned our facility in Johannesburg.
But does it work the same way?
Yeah, it's pretty well.
So basically, we
augmented
used the HoloLens
reality.
on team session, right? So we had all of our engineers sitting all over Europe, witnessing the testing and commissioning and testing of our mechanical and electrical infrastructure, and it saved us having to fly them all over the world. So it paid for itself instantly, and it was effective. Similarly, when we have perhaps the need for customer who can't get to their IT hardware sitting in a rack in one of our facilities, they don't have one in the country, so if they've got an issue, they've got to fly out there or use the local remote hands team to go and do stuff. But if you can't see what they're doing and you have an issue that's just been going on and on and on, this is where you can see what they can see. You can give them instant instructions rather than a delay of saying, well, we found this, here's a photo of what we can see. What do you want us to do next? It's that kind of interaction will make things more efficient, ensure more uptime in my industry. So we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously
and
the
I think
utility.
maybe we can take it to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the utility in the sort of manufacturing or production environments or what a factory environment is, the maintenance guy walking around the plant, looking at a piece of equipment that's got a QR code on it or whatever, instantly getting all the details on that, like how long has it been running, when last was maintained, when next should it be maintained, being able to pull up the drawings for that piece of equipment, So I think that utility's there. And I suppose with the HoloLens, it was almost like the first pass at that kind of thing. And this is probably the second pass at this, a little more lightweight, more processing power in a smaller package, maybe longer battery life. Cheaper. Well, the HoloLens, funny enough, when it first came out at the same price that the Vision Pros come out at now.
What, $3,500?
$3,500, yeah.
Is it still the same price?
Well, I don't think the HoloLens is the same price, but I'm just saying 5-6 years ago when the HoloLens came out, it was...
The version 2 of the HoloLens is about the same price, slightly more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slightly more.
I do, for some reason, think that, and I can put my hands on why, but I think that the Apple Vision Pro will get a wider adoption than the HoloLens.
Possibly. I think a lot of this stuff depends on what's the ecosystem behind it that backs it up.
100%.
So you probably got a lot more developers that are developing for the sort of Apple ecosystem than, say, the Microsoft ecosystem. I think a lot of the sort of tools that were developed for the HoloLens had to be developed third party, not easily accessible. Might have to develop the stuff yourself internally. Whereas I think what will happen is that your existing Apple developers will jump onto this bandwagon. And I just think that the number of developers, just numbers wise, is bigger. Specifically for this kind of stuff, writing apps that integrate with these kind of mobile devices, because this is a mobile device, not a cell phone, but definitely like the next sort of evolution of a... Because I've always thought that cell phones would go the route that the vision aspect of it would be heads-up display kind of thing. Google glasses kind of thing. I know Meta's working with Ray-Ban. They're developing glasses that have got heads-up display and all that kind of stuff in it. I mean, obviously, this is a bigger form factor and a little bit more difficult to wear in all circumstances because you're going to look like a minion. Not so, Lester? Yeah.
But it is, you can wear it, right?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
It's not like you can't wear it. And I think this is like a first pass and tech is going to evolve. Like, remember the first cell phones, right?
Yeah.
First cell phones, big, bulky. Like, you most likely couldn't carry them in a pocket. Needed a standalone kind of.
Yeah, you
separate
needed
bag.
a thing on your belt.
Yeah. And like.
You remember those days as well,
Yes, yes.
No. Like, no.
I do. I don't know about Oleg.
Oleg definitely does. He's showing his age.
No. Well, look, I remember those days, but I mean, the environment where you guys grew up. I mean, even before the telephone technologies, where you guys went to the post office to send letters and stuff.
Yeah, now we send emails or WhatsApps. Yeah. So the other thing that I see that it's got a LiDAR scanner. Okay. So LiDAR you can use to scan 3D objects.
Yeah.
So is this going to go the way where galleries that have pieces of art in them, like sculptures, there's going to be a sign at the door that says no Apple Vision Pro allowed, like the drones. No drones allowed.
I think it's going to be controlled, but it's also a huge market. Can you imagine, like, for example, sake, if this is like set up by a museum, join us on the virtual walk of the Louvre.
Absolutely.
The Louvre. I mean, how cool would it be, especially if it's not kind of, if it's not like a low res tech and it's high res. Can you imagine how cool would it be to basically jump on the virtual tour of the Louvre and basically walk through every gallery without actually physically needing to be there?
Exactly. I agree. Imagine going for a tour in any world.
Or pyramids. Like walk around the pyramids.
Exactly. I agree.
So we are basically addressing two senses, right? The visual and the audio sense, right? We are still missing the sense of smell and touch.
Yeah.
I think once we kind of like breach the touch aspect with some sort of haptics, right? I think we pretty much 70-80% there. I mean,
no, that before all this tech came along, the tech we had was in the cinemas with surround sound and widescreen and all that.
Yeah. And then 3D
and
glasses.
3D glasses. All the lenses, all of that. So they actually tried to improve the experience of those going to the cinema. They were like, well, how else can we do this? And it was improved quality of screen and sound and comfort and all that. They're like, well, no, let's play on the senses. And the next one was smell. They trialed in America in this one cinema a way of doing smells. So smells were emitted in line with what was happening in the movie. Let's hope it wasn't like Train Spotting when they went to the worst toilet.
Yeah.
But there was that kind of thing. You walk through, somebody's walking through a forest, you'd hear the sound, you'd smell something.
Temperature change.
Smell something.
Air
movement.
movement.
So this is what they were trying to do is manipulate. Temperature change is difficult because people have different thresholds for that. Smells they were trying to do, and they somehow came up with it, but it was just too cost prohibitive because you've got to sync it with the movie.
Yeah.
You can't have a smell coming out that's wrong because then people just go, hang on, that's rubbish. That's ruined my experience of never coming back again.
Yeah.
People will tamper with them and all sorts of things because there were sensors under the seats that emitted gas, smells like you would a fragrance in an air freshener at home. That's what the technology was 25 years ago, 10 years ago even. Must be 25, 30 years. But now we're in the same place. We've now, every time I think of Apple products, it's about taking something and making it better. So they like, well, there's a mini disc player. We're going to bring out the iPod. Okay, that's music collection better. Oh, we're going to come up with the iPhone. So that's a telephone, but better. And what else we got? iWatch. It tells the time.
Apple TV.
Apple. No, but this is iWatch was. It tells the time, but better. Time is time.
Yeah,
But
heart
this is the
monitor,
next thing, right?
stress
This is the
monitor.
next thing.
Yeah, it's the next thing. Yeah. So just talking
It
about
gives
that.
a visual, but better. So how do you go from here? What's the next sense that they're going to touch on?
Well,
think
I mean-
haptics, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Haptics is going to be the next barrier.
Yeah. So is that going to connect to the Neuralink, and then the Neuralink can send out the sensation that you would get of being hugged or touched or whatever, punched,
Touch me there.
punched.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my luck. I just constantly punch myself in the face. That's what I feel like.
So I've just had a thought: 2 people wearing Apple Vision Pros
Where are you going with this?
with an app, and you're having a conflict or negotiation discussion.
Oh, okay.
And the app
All right.
is giving you real-time sentiment on basically what the person's saying, how they're saying it, their body language. What do you think?
For sure. For sure.
Or real-time lie detector.
But we can kind of already, well, not real time lie detector, but we can kind of already do that with actual physical writing and large language model analysis. So I think the whole space of kind of real time information and analysis is basically on the horizon.
Well, look,
But
I mean, the
how
reality with these
comfortable-
things is
how
it's-
comfortable are you talking? Are you going to be talking to somebody who's wearing Apple Vision Pro?
not
right?
very, not
So,
very
for example,
comfortable.
number one, you don't know whether you've been recorded.
Yes,
Both visually and
audio.
right? Number
Yeah.
two, you don't know whether, besides of the fact that you're being recorded, you're being analyzed like in real time based on your body language, tone of voice. And you can derive a lot of data from kind of visual clues, perspiration, heartbeat.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's like we're going down a very deep rabbit hole.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's very interesting times. I mean, I think all these technologies are converging. So, I mean, like now, effectively, you can do pretty much everything that you can do on a PC, you can now do on an iPhone or a smartphone. It's now going onto this headset. So, you know, like 3D movies, I would imagine it's possible to watch a 3D movie on this device. Because, I mean, you are sending the data to each eye separately. Streaming video, streaming music, all of that stuff is now you know, it's all converging into one device, I think. And I mean, for me, I mean, the thing is, like, when you put on a VR headset, it like short circuits your brain. Because after a while, once your brain's adjusted to it, it's like watching a 3D movie. When you first put the glasses on, it looks a bit weird and it feels a bit strange because your brain says, okay, I know that this is foreign. But after a while, you become immersed in that experience. And likewise with the VR headset. I mean, it's like after a while, you get so disorientated because initially you're aware of your reality, your environment that you're in when you put the headset on, because you've got obviously like some sort of memory of orientation where you
yeah.
After a while, once you put those VR headsets on, you don't know which side you're facing anymore. You've lost all sense of where you are, where you are in space. I mean, I've put the Oculus Quest the Quest headset on and go play some games, whatever. When when you take that thing off, you're not pointing in the direction that you thought you were pointing. It really short circuits your brain. So yeah, and then I suppose you can think of positive aspects of this. I mean, sort of like visual meditation kind of thing is like where you put the headset on. I've tried this with my previous VR headset where you're playing some sort of meditation music and you're having this like sort of visual experience, almost like being on psychedelics. It's actually quite calming, right? If you've got the right music and the right visuals, my mind, like blows up on all the potential things that you could do with this device. Imagine watching. I still want
major pitch. I think you'll get the demo unit next week.
No, this is what I would really love to go watch a tennis final at Wimbledon.
Front row seats.
Well, it doesn't have to be front
Or
row
box.
seats, but in the I want to be in the stadium at least once in my life, sitting in the stadium watching the final Wimbledon match, right?
Okay, I see where you're going with it. So is that pay-per-view kind of thing?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they did try this with the VR headsets, but, I mean, connectivity was a problem, so the bandwidth wasn't there. There were some
Bandwidth hasn't
technical...
changed, so not going to be the same problem.
What's that?
Bandwidth hasn't improved in recent years.
Well, I mean,
it's still the same
back in
problem.
those days, my Wi-Fi was only sitting at 10 megs or round about there. My phone, the Wi-Fi was only really maybe doing 10 megs at a time, up and down. The quality of the visuals wasn't that great, and so there was a bit of stuttering and a bit of buffering and all that kind of stuff. And I can imagine, even if it's not now, that it will get to a point where they have a 3D camera set up in the stadium, and you could be pay-per-view with your VR headset watching the final at Wimbledon Centre Court. I mean, for me, that would be an awesome experience. And I mean, think about this. We're talking about Formula One. Imagine if you could put the VR headset on, using the Formula One app, which you can do this now. If you're watching you can change to be on board with any driver that you want. Imagine you sitting in the Formula One car during a Formula One race,
That's
watching
unreal,
Formula One.
It is unreal.
First person. I'm sitting on with
And
Hamilton in
you
Ferrari.
can swap the drivers and
You
basically.
can swap the drivers.
I think it's unreal.
blows my
dude.
mind.
I
Blows
think it's
my mind.
unreal. I think that.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, this sounds awesome, but we're missing something, which is the experience of going there is not just seeing the event. It's the transport there. It's mingling with the crowd outside.
Absolutely.
It's having the overpriced bland takeaway food that they offer there. It's queuing for the toilets. You've missed out on all of these other things that make the overall event memorable.
No, I agree. I agree with that. Oh, no, definitely. And I mean, I suppose the question is, as the world progresses in technology, how close are we going to get to that real life experience? I mean, like, if you do a VR thing where you are bungee jumping or skydiving, right? There is that. The visual gives you that little not dopamine, that adrenaline kick.
Release, yeah.
But when you do when you bungee jump in the VR experience, you're not feeling the wind through your face and the gravity and all that kind of stuff, and that like almost like floating feeling, like you're not touching anything, or like if I'm sitting on my chair and I'm bungee jumping in the VR headset, like you say, you're only getting a portion of the experience. You're getting the visual cues.
And maybe
what
the
are you
sound.
laughing
Imagine
at?
you
And
put
maybe-
the glasses on and
maybe the
this
sound.
experience is happening, and you just throw yourself at the floor. Bang! Implications here.
Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out.
No, but I mean, imagine if you're wearing this headset. You've seen this
Best time ever.
where they've got this like sort of tunnel that can get people to float in the air.
Yeah.
Right. So imagine if you have the VR headset and you've got that thing going, and they say, "Okay, jump now."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, crazy.
yeah.
I can think of many
Dude, that's insane.
experiences that one could have with this technology.
Maybe we save that for another time because we've been running for
1 hour
Yeah.
and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've probably been speaking about this for half an hour.
Yeah.
no longer actually.
Okay, don't tell me.
I think no, but it's cool because this is something that we can get behind and play with. It's not just a theoretical. I mean, it started off with us talking about new venture,
Yes.
neurofiber links mind over matter, and we're still, it's a big thing. We want to have an improved world.
Mm.
Don't want to feel the effects of aging, Oleg. We don't want to miss out on anything.
Yeah. So, hit us with the next topic. Days of the year. What are we celebrating
Days of the
today? Am I drinking beer today, dude?
Well, dry January is over, or forget December, which route you were going on in January. That's over. So officially, those taking part in those can start drinking 2 days ago. But no, today is randomly. I mean, it's the 3rd of February. I mean, it's a bit of a random day. It's not really. You'd think there'd be a few things going on. It's the wrong time of year for stuff. But anyway, there's a lot of national days. And I'll start with my favorite because I used to have these dogs, National Golden Retriever Day.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so cool, dude.
Yeah, screw all the other dog breeds. They don't have national days. But it is also doggy date night. If you got a dog. You go, Oleg. What are you
Doggy-
doing tonight?
Doggy date night. How do you celebrate that?
Yeah.
Elmo, you know Elmo from Kids TV. It's his birthday. It's only 100 years old.
Was
take
that the
a
show
cruise
that
day,
you guys
like-
were watching?
I've never seen it.
All my time. Yeah. Solo Diners Eat Out Week. There you go. You can celebrate that.
I can do that
If you
easily.
wanna go- I'm actually on business travel next week, so I'll definitely be eating on my own next week. But
Check
I think
box.
there's a lot of national days today. Harley Quinn month. We're in Harley Quinn month. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
But today is the day the music died.
No.
So you celebrate on the February the 3rd. You celebrate the day the music died by, and this links back to, when was that? The 1950s. It was a plane crash, and Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and Richardson was the other guy. 3 musicians died on that plane crash.
So was that
And
on the 3rd
these
of Feb?
guys- Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I'm going to play
And
American
it's-
Pie today, dude.
is that
There
Don
we go.
McLean?
That's how
Yeah.
you celebrate.
Don McLean, yeah.
Yeah, listen to American Pie. Yeah, baby.
The thing that scares me, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
More than half a century ago. But anyway, it was the time when these guys were making and expanding rock and roll music and pushing the boundaries, and they all died before their time. Same with most musicians that are epic. They quite often die
But
before
plane
they-
crash, I mean, that's quite weird, you know. Most musicians basically go out in a different
They
way.
go another way.
Yeah.
They're doing flying of another kind.
Yeah.
Well, maybe because this happened in a plane, and the plane crashed, and that was ultimately the cause of death. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll go with that. Clean cut rockers from the 50s. Yeah, I mean, who flies into a snowstorm? Come on.
But
Don't do that.
like when you started off with this, you said the day the music died, and like for me, it instantly clicked Don McLean, American Pie, right?
Yeah.
But like,
That's where
Does
it got
this-
its name.
does this thing
But, yeah.
like, was this thing big for you when you guys were growing up?
Oh, he's on a roll today. I mean, I was past my rock and roll phase by the time this happened. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how old.
Before my time.
Way before my time.
Before my time.
I think I'm going to
Yeah.
come back to the banks on Oleg next week. I'm going to find What do you mean you didn't have this as a kid? Oh, you're so deprived. What do you mean you don't have that? What do you mean you haven't tried this?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm
what
sorry.
what do you mean you've never watched Airwolf?
No, I'm sorry, but like it's sometimes very difficult to gauge because once you guys like start with your war stories and stuff like that, like I don't even know which war you guys are talking about. I'm thinking like you guys are talking about the First World War, like 1914 or something.
Oh. That's nice. Good. Oh.
Speechless.
I mean, that's okay. What else have we got today? Let's moving on swiftly. Look, talking about age, birthdays. Isla Fisher, it's her birthday today. She's older than I thought. Any guesses? I haven't done that for a while.
No,
Any predictions on age?
can't.
Isla Fisher.
I don't even know who that is, man. Like this is before my time.
No, it's not. She's an actress. She's married to. I think she's married to Borat. The guy who plays Borat.
No way. Sasha Khan.
Yeah. Anyway, she's
How old is
48
she?
today.
She's 48.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, before my time, dude.
Dude, seriously, how old are you? 20?
I'm still pretty young. I'm like a third of your guys' age, most likely.
Yeah, the way we're talking. Yeah. This is if I was in the First World War. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be a freak of nature. I'm still alive.
And look so good.
I mean, maybe it's the mustard gas. No, that's a bit harsh. Let's move on. That's right. Yeah. On this day, circus owner. Do you know the Barnum and Bailey circus? Because that is way before our time.
Yeah, no, I don't. I only know the
They-
Boswell Circus.
Is that still going?
No,
Boswell Wilkie Circus?
no.
I don't know. Anyway, on this day, the Barnum Circus bought their more famous elephant Jumbo in 1882. So they've had to buy an elephant in 1880s that they could train and be part of the act. 1880s, we could barely communicate across towns, let alone countries.
Yeah.
How do you go and purchase an elephant?
I think you sent a telegram or like a post.
Have you got any elephants for sale? We'd love to buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get it here? I mean, this is quite a feat nowadays. I mean, I think back to Harrods in London. They used to be known as the shop that you could buy anything. I mean, this shop is extensive, and when you walk in there, it's got every department, everything. And if they haven't got it, they can get it for you. That was always their thing. And over the years, they've had to sort of caveat that because somebody bought a lion from Harrods, and Harrods delivered.
Oh, wow.
They lived up to their name, but it got to the point where okay, there's some stuff we shouldn't sell.
Yeah.
One guy.
Yeah.
RPGs and
At least it was
know.
easier then. You had telephones and could phone around and try and source the thing that somebody wants to buy. Back in the 1880s, on this day, how do you actually purchase an elephant? How do you put a price on it? How do you get delivery of this elephant?
Yeah. How do you do? Yeah.
There we go. All right, I think that's enough
Airlifted
for
with
one
the
day.
Amazon drone.
That's like a whole. Okay, happy. Hey, the music died. Have a good weekend.
Yeah. I should have had our outro song as American Pie. Dude.
Peace out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can sing it
No.
as you fade
Andrew,
yourself.
come on. Like this is your time, right?
No. Stage fright. Let me just generate a AI video with me singing American Pie using Don McLean's voice.
We're waiting.
No.
Momentary pause.
Okay, we'll catch you next week. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Dankie dat julle geluister het.
Ja, baie dankie. Oh, sorry, we just singled out Oleg there. Ek verstaan nie Afrikaans nie.
No, it's okay. It's
Staan ek
okay.
aan die praat.
It's okay. You guys are talking about your war stories again.
That's 4 strikes, you're dead.